All right, so as far as the actual courses within our BSIT degree program, I'm gonna kind of fly through some items here. So we have some professional core. There are certain things that you do need to know and be able to do. A lot of people assume when you're in technology, communications not a big deal. It is. Hence why you see the courses that you do. Being able to communicate effectively with business and other people outside of technology is critical. That is how we actually help secure and deploy the infrastructure effectively and innovate. So those are all core competencies that you're going to need, as well as networking, databases, program. Everybody gets some programming, security. You want to get a little bit of management, and then of course analytics or statistical methods for business. Yes, I know you probably freaked out when I said statistics. Kind of chill out. We teach it from a business perspective, so it's more practical than theory. So keep that in mind, which is way easier to digest in my opinion. Additionally, every concentration has these core courses within it, which are systems analysis and design. This is critical. So what is system? How do you design it? How do you do analysis around it? How do you analyze the needs of the business? This is all critical start points within technology innovation and deployment, whether that's standard IT or cyber or auto cyber, etc. We have networks and operating systems, database and design, and then fundamentals of cybersecurity. Everybody goes through these. So of those 3 or 4 classes, there are activities within 402, but 405, hands-on labs, 408, hands-on labs, 417, hands-on lab. So that gives you a good perspective on where we're coming from on course development and rollout. So let's talk about the next, or the first concentration, I should say. So first up is automotive cybersecurity. A lot of people don't think about automotive in the context of cybersecurity. These are data centers rolling down the street now, okay? One of the things that I think a lot of people don't really critically understand, and I'll say this in general, is that our world is changing, and this concept of cybersecurity and cyber resiliency is changing with it. This degree program is very much about securing cyber physical systems. This is tailored to automotive, but this is actually all the skills in tradecraft that you learn within this can be deployed and leveraged in other things like SCADA, ICS, industrial control systems, manufacturing, Industry 4.0. This is definitely a cyber physical. So how do we secure systems like cars, the manufacturing line, robots, etc.? This is definitely within that wheelhouse. Everybody gets, so I'm not going to go through every single course here. There's a number here. Now, I would say let's highlight 419, ethical hacking. So this is red team. How do you attack? We do that so you become a better offender. 422 is kind of our hallmark in cyber classes, and that one is specifically tailored for live attack and defense against other people. When you learn how to deal with a human being on the other side of that machine, it changes. It changes the ball game, and it will enhance your skills. That's why we do it the way we do. There's not very many of our competitors who can even remotely say that, right? Then we get into the actual very specifically tailored automotive cyber classes. This is designed to take you from baseline of, if you don't know much about cars, what are the systems within cars? What are the networks? What are ECUs? How do they talk? How do we secure them? Literally 4 classes dedicated to that, to level you up. We also do have a car within our car lab, and we have the ability to connect into that car lab remotely. So that is actually developing now, and it will enable you to be able to have access and test out the different skills that you learn. All right, so let's change gears here a little bit. We're gonna go to standard cyber, moving away from auto cyber. And so let's talk through the coursework here a little bit. So there's a lot of different courses here that we feel kind of differentiate this program. First up, one thing that we should definitely call out here is, I'm going to quick go through, I'll talk about each of the courses here in a minute, but we're going to go through the number of courses in this concentration where there's hands-on labs. 407, virtualization. 410, software engineering. 412, advanced programming. 419, red team or cyber attack class. 422, attack and defend class. 440, cloud infrastructure. 460, digital network and forensics. 462, cyber physical systems and cryptography. all of these courses within this concentration, which is pretty similar to many of our concentrations, are all hands-on. We feel that this definitely, plays into that trade craft statement that you hear from us, as well as differentiates us from our competition significantly with the amount of hands-on experience and skill development that you're getting as you go through the coursework. Now, with that said, I'm going to kind of gloss through some of the courses here. Some people are like, why do we have programming in cybersecurity? I can tell you from experience being in industry that there's a lot of the times where you may need to write a script or do something else in order to fix problems and have those deploy across the enterprise, or to simply make things easier on yourself or your teams. So scripting and some level of programming is typically used in every IT and cyber job on some level. Red team or ethical hacking, that is so you can be a better defender. 422, that's a hallmark class. Our advisory board has said there are very few other folks running that, but there's a lot there to digest. And when you get into cyber and actually get into a live environment where you're dealing with other human beings on the other side of the defense or the attack, it actually suddenly makes more sense on a level that just reading books and taking tests, just can't suffice. Cloud infrastructure. Obviously, in today's world, this is very important. Forensics in incident response is obviously in today's world, with all of the attack and defense going on, and the events that happen on the internet, the ability to reconstruct and respond is very important. Security operations awareness is really preparing you for work in a SOC or security operations center. Many people, when they break into cyber, they start in a SOC. So this kind of helps lay the groundwork for that. And cyber physical systems, how these systems are secured and defended is significantly different than standard IT. So standard IT is like data and servers and laptops and websites and all of those kinds of things. But cyber physical systems are like medical systems, electric grid, automobiles, manufacturing with Industry 4.0. There's all of these different things. And how you defend and maintain those devices in their operations is significantly different than standard cybersecurity. So what we do is we bring this in here so that you're well-rounded. And then last but certainly not least, we have cryptography, which is a very important part of secure software and things that we do from a cybersecurity perspective. So again, a hands-on lab approach to understanding and comprehending cryptography. So with that said, and I know I kind of blazed through that, but what we're going to do is I'm going to turn it over to Tom Petz, who's going to cover some more of the concentrations for you.
Thanks so much, Dave. Now, my job is to take you through some of the other concentrations that we have, starting with the business information systems concentration, which we kind of designed to be a generalist approach to the BSIT undergrad. And we have things like project management in there. Then we get into server virtualization and performance engineering. We have 2 classes in programming that are designed to build up some core programming skills and disciplines that will help you as an IT professional in today's environment. We get into ethical hacking strategies and tools in IT 419, 422. Some real hands-on attack defend, lab-focused classes. Then we dive back into project management with IT 430. We talk about modern project management techniques that use Agile and Scrum. We get into cloud infrastructure, so important in today's world. And then we have the IT 499 capstone, and then there is a course in statistics in there. Next up, I want to talk about the programming concentration. And I'm really excited about this one because this is where I spend a lot of my time and energy and focus. And we've really taken a hard look at the industry in trying to come up with programming languages and other tools, techniques, frameworks, and kind of bundled them in together into a program that teaches a lot of core fundamental skills. You see that we start with IT 403 with project management. We have, again, that server virtualization performance engineering course. It's interesting how much of programming ties in so much with operating systems and how many scripts and things like that are operating system dependent. So we would like to have that foundation in place before we get into some of the programming classes. Again, you see IT 410, 412, building up some core programming skills, but then we offer courses in web programming. We teach scripting and automation, which is an awesome class. The students who take that have given great feedback about the content of the class and what it actually teaches them and how much they learn about scripting for servers and to automate different types of tasks that you might find on the job. And then we give you a choice between taking IT 415 or IT 416. The IT 415 class is a class in mobile programming. And when we teach that class, we actually teach it so that you can learn how to do things with Android or iOS and build projects up that way. The toolkit that we use works across both platforms very, very well. And we're really excited about that. And then we have another option, which is learning about embedded Linux programming. So these are IoT type of devices, and really excited about learning how to get down deep within the nuts and bolts of Linux and how we can get embedded devices to do our bidding, if you will. Very, very fun class that we are excited about. And then we have IT 419 as part of the core there, and then Agile Project Management and Scrum, once again, you'll see here again, and then the Cloud Infrastructure class. Last but certainly not least is our project management concentration. And we're really excited about this one because there is such a demand out there for qualified, capable project managers out in the field who really understand both technical and the management side of things. So we start off this concentration with that IT 403 class, which you've seen in a number of different concentrations. We dive into Agile Project Management and Scrum, some risk management and governance, and then we jump into some graduate level classes where we discuss leadership fundamentals for technology professionals and just framing how to think within an organization from an IT perspective, how to communicate, how to persuade, how to get really projects accomplished within organizations. And then we get into some classes that are really designed to help prepare you for things like the PMP exam and just how project management is done in the modern enterprise. So it's not just about project management, but it's about program management and portfolios that you are managing. And then, of course, QM 301 statistical inference is one of the other classes that is in the concentration as well.
All right, so let's briefly discuss some of the BSIT admission requirements. We're going to kind of gloss through these, certainly answer more questions later, but so you should have a minimum of a 2.0 for GPA on your previous college or university coursework, and you will need to have a certain number of semester credit hours in place, as well as a certain number of general ed. Now, some of that can be completed after, so you can, quote, dual enroll and complete out your community college portion if you so choose to, as well as start classes at Walsh simultaneously. There is English composition and some algebra requirements, etc. And all of those transfer credits need to come from a regionally accredited institution by HLC or the Higher Learning Commission.